sat down for Thanksgiving, his first one in office, with Jeffrey Epstein, after his labor secretary, Alex Acosta, recently appointed, was the one that gave Epstein the sweetheart deal 10 years prior? That's not in the public interest? That's a non-existent file? You think the public has no right to know? Why do you think they buried the files? It's because this stuff is all over, and this isn't even all of it.
P-Record back with another video, guys. Some more Nick Fuentes clips for you guys today. First clip we got for you guys is Nick talking about Trump making a crisis, and it's his own making. You know, he's the reason why MAGA is falling. You know, like I said in the last couple of videos that you guys have seen. I mean, it's just facts. We just seen Trump slowly. You know, he's just falling into the pit like every other president. You know, I mean, during the first term, he really preached America first, you know, and then in the second term, so far, I mean, I know we're only about to be in a year, you know, but I mean, to me, he hasn't shown that much, man. He wants to blame everybody else but himself for the things that he's caused. Like I said, no one told you to release the Epstein files. He made that promise on the campaign trail, and he hasn't stuck to it, you know. He's focused on immigration. He still hasn't, they haven't caught as many people as they say they have, you know. But I'm going to start doing the talking. I'm going to let Nick do it. I'll ask if you guys like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video. Helps me out, helps the channel out, you know, push more America First clips, you know. Everyone stay America First. Nick's live Monday through Friday on Rumble. Link it down below in the description. Everyone have a good one and enjoy some Nick Fuentes.
This is a crisis of Trump's own making. You have no one to blame but yourself. You can't blame your own base for asking you to do what you promised to do. You can't say that your base doesn't see the bigger picture or they're conspiracy theorists. If you played into that for years, which you did, the chickens have come home to roost now. They leaned into this stuff. They promised it. And you could say they bit off more than they can chew. Then you lied brazenly and openly. You tried to trick people. It didn't work. And now the chickens have come home to roost. And here's the issue. This goes to the center of what the Trump revolution is all about. And I've been saying this for weeks and months and years now. The whole idea behind Trumpism, fundamentally, it's an anti-corruption movement. Don't you know that? At the bottom of it, MAGA, it's not really about being conservative. It's not super conservative. It's not about being libertarian. It's not about being Republican. The core of the MAGA message was about anti-corruption. It was an anti-corruption campaign because the first thing that Trump said is, I'm a self-funder. I'm a billionaire. I'm so rich that I cannot be bought. And what's the implication? The implication is Congress and the president is bought by the money. And they're compromised in all sorts of ways. They're compromised by money and the quid pro quo, those expectations. They're compromised in other ways by blackmail. They're controlled by the media. And so the fundamental premise of Trumpism is, I can't be bought, therefore I'm incorruptible. That was the point. If I put up $70 million to run my primary campaign and I'm a billionaire, maybe I could do that in the general. And if I have all small dollar donors, the people can literally overthrow the corrupt government. All the super PACs, all the billionaires, all the money will be against. But if we have one billionaire and a ton of small dollar donors, and maybe some like small business owner, millionaire types, then maybe we really could have a president that isn't beholden to anybody. So that's actually central to the MAGA message. This idea of draining the swamp, it's not like it's one among other things that's critical. And Epstein epitomizes this problem because what is the Epstein playbook? He's got a private island. Why? So that he controls who goes there and he can see everything and record everything that happens. That's the point. There's no jurisdiction. He's got a private island. He's got his townhouse in Manhattan rigged with cameras and microphones. Why? He's in bed with the Israeli government, the British government, the American government. His entire operation is to entice and induce powerful people to let their guard down so that he can compromise them with blackmail and then control them on behalf of some entity. Who even knows? Probably Israeli intelligence. But honestly, who knows? Maybe he's a mercenary. Maybe he worked with Israeli intelligence and British intelligence and or the CIA. Most likely Israeli intelligence. But that gets to the heart of why people don't trust the government. Because people have this idea that the reason America is losing, why are we powerful and rich, but the country's getting worse? It's because of the leadership. The leadership is steering us into the rocks because they're being manipulated. They're being controlled with money or blackmail or by shadowy forces. And so the whole Trump revolution was saying, let's turn the lights on. Let's put the spotlight on this. Let's get back in control of the government. There's no reason we should be failing. Let's fire all the bad people. Let's expose all the criminals, throw the corrupt people in jail, and then we can make Americans' lives better. And people like Epstein would be first on that list, and all of his clients. Are you telling me that Donald Trump had Thanksgiving dinner with Jeffrey Epstein when he was the president? Are you kidding me? That is what is in the files, the 20,000 emails that were released yesterday. We don't even have all of them. And this Department of Justice said the files didn't exist. And they knew that this was in them? Really? How do you expect anybody to ever trust the Trump government ever again? You think that you had the right to bury this? Wouldn't that be pretty relevant if Donald Trump, as the newly elected president, sat down for Thanksgiving, his first one in office, with Jeffrey Epstein, after his labor secretary, Alex Acosta, recently appointed, was the one that gave Epstein the sweetheart deal 10 years prior? That's not in the public interest. That's a non-existent file. You think the public has no right to know? Why do you think they buried the files? It's because this stuff is all over, and this isn't even all of it. Of course now we need to see all of it. Of course now we need to get to the bottom of it. If they were hiding this, and they lied about this, that this even existed, what else are they lying about? What else has been destroyed? This is what exists. This is what they did not shred. Understand, Epstein was arrested 20 years ago. You think all those documents are intact? This is what is left. This is out of the 20,000 files that were released of what is left. You expect the people to trust the Trump government after that? That's like something Trump needs to be subpoenaed for that. Like, obviously, Trump needs to be subpoenaed by Congress. Did you have Thanksgiving dinner with Jeffrey Epstein? Under penalty of perjury, did you have Thanksgiving dinner with Jeffrey Epstein when you were president? Which Trump was Epstein talking about? The public needs to know that, actually. Can this be corroborated? Does he have an alibi? Is this what it's really come to? How sad is that? After Bill Clinton's indiscretion and his corruption, after George W. Bush and the lie in Iraq, after Obama and all of his corruption, Fast and Furious, the Biden administration, their censorship, the COVID vax, all the lies that happened, the lie that was his presidency, that he was even in control. Is this really what it's come to? That Trump is covering this up, lying about it? Now we have to haul his fat ass before a congressional committee and have him testify under oath that he didn't have dinner with Epstein as president? If that doesn't paint a picture for you of what a sad state of affairs this is, I don't know what does. I don't know what other argument can be made. How pathetic that is. Does that not completely betray the fundamental spirit of what this whole thing is about, which is that for 35 years, we don't even know who's in control? And maybe even longer than that. I mean, realistically, ever since JFK was shot in the head, we have no idea who's running this country. There is no sense of legitimacy. There is no faith in the institutions. And why would there be when they always lie and conspire? And when they're always wrapped up in things like this? And Trump is no different. We elected Trump as a reaction to Obama. Obama was elected as a reaction to Bush. What comes after this? And people wonder why I have an appeal. People say, why does this guy have any kind of appeal? Because this is what we have been treated to for my entire life. If this is a distraction, then why doesn't Trump release the files then? If Trump is innocent, maybe he's named in the files, but it's not criminal. Maybe he's named in the files, but it's not damning. If all it is a big circus and it's just meant to distract from Trump's important work, then why would he not release the files himself? He runs the DOJ. He runs the FBI. If he picked up the phone and called Pam Bondi, she would do it. If he called Kash Patel, he would do it. The files are under his jurisdiction. He has the power to release them. So this doesn't really work. You can't say it's a giant distraction and the only reason they want to release the files is to hurt me. There's nothing really there. In other words, I'm not guilty. I'm not a criminal. This is just being drummed up basically as a political attack. You can't say that, but at the same time say, I'm going to lie about the existence of the files. I'm going to bury the files. I'm going to actively work to cover them up and obstinately refuse to release them. You can't have both at the same time. If you're guilty, you're covering them up and we need a valid reason why they're being buried. If you're not guilty and it's just political, then you need to disclose the files and release them, and then there is no political attack. But you can't have it both ways. That much is obvious, and that's the problem. And this gets to the fundamental issue. Whether there is impropriety or only the appearance of impropriety, it makes no difference. Trump campaigned last year on disclosure, on transparency. His words, not ours. He made the promise. We didn't. He, and by the way, his entire group, Don Jr. and Fox News and all these conservative activists for like 5 years, all they did was talk about Epstein Island and the Epstein list and the Black Book and Bill Clinton. They did that for 5 years. Ever since Epstein died in 2019, this has been the line right up through the last election. And Trump promised to that end, I will be different. I will clarify everything. We will have a transparent government. You will know where the government stands, whether we're owned and blackmailed, whether there is this intelligence penetration of our system, and whether they're extorting people or not. And that's really kind of important about the legitimacy of our government. He promised that. And then what we have seen basically ever since is obstruction, lies, and cover-up. Why do you think it is? Let's once again consider the timeline. Elon Musk enters the Oval Office for the last time in the middle of May with a black eye. Remember that? Or did that get memory hold? Elon Musk steps into the Oval Office for the final time in the middle of May with a giant black eye. Trump later commented that Elon was offered makeup to cover it up, but Trump cryptically said he refused the makeup because he wanted people to see it. Real quote, look that up. Elon said that his baby son hit him in the face and gave him a black eye. He was punched by little X, the toddler, who gave him a black eye. Grown man, this is, by the way. And do you remember how that meeting went? It didn't go well. And when Elon left the Oval Office, he went on Twitter and said the reason Trump will not release the Epstein files is because he is in them. Remember that? What happened a week after those comments? Israel bombed Iran. A week after that happened, after that little dust up, Israel bombed Iran. A week after Israel bombed Iran, the United States joined in and bombed Iran. The war started on June 13th, 613. You know, there's 613 commandments in the Mishnah. The Jews believe there are 613 commandments in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament. So on June 13th, they launched the war. The United States entered a week later. And then when Bibi Netanyahu came to visit the White House to celebrate the end of the war on 7/7, July 7th, it was before that visit that the DOJ released their memo announcing that the Epstein files did not exist and there would be no further investigation. It's interesting timing, wouldn't you say? Interesting bookends. Elon comes in with the black eye and goes out saying Trump is in the files. A week later, the war starts, and Israel successfully goads the United States into finally bombing Fordo, something they wanted for 20 years, which Trump did not want to do. And then when Netanyahu comes to visit and celebrate his third visit, the completion of the war, what he wanted since Trump got into office, maybe why Netanyahu got Trump into office, it's on 7/7 that the files are buried. You think all that's a big coincidence? And what this obviously points at, what everybody knows, is that probably he is compromised in some way by the files. Who knows what's in them? Who knows what the Israelis have? The U.S. government has files. The Israeli government has files. Epstein and his allies in the Israeli government, you think that Israel doesn't have information on Epstein and who Epstein knew? Maybe we have some of the files. Maybe Israel has other files. Who knows? Why do you think it was timed that way? Maybe they sent Trump a message. Maybe they sent Elon a message. But this is the kind of stuff that we voted for Trump because we hated to see. It's weird. It's creepy. It doesn't make sense. It seems to go all the way to the top. People having black eyes, conspiracies, outright lies about sex trafficking, pedophile scandals on secret islands, wars in the Middle East that nobody wants over a nuclear program that doesn't exist. Isn't this why we elected Trump? Think about it.
No, Nick's right, and that's why we did elect Trump, because we wanted, this is what Trump wanted. He preached it on his campaign trail, and this is why he defeated Kamala the way he did. It was by a landslide. I think it was one of the worst presidential. Kamala got her ass handed to her, she's beyond lost. But it was for a reason. Because everybody was on Team Trump, and we wanted the Epstein files out. We wanted mass immigration. We wanted to get rid of immigration. We didn't want illegal immigrants here. We wanted to get rid of them. And so far, Trump has only been tackling everything but the Epstein files, And it's like Nick said earlier too. Who's been running the country all these years, If Trump's compromised, what does that mean for all the other presidents? We know Bill Clinton's in there. Dude, they're all in there. It's like I tell my friend, dude. Republicans, Democrats, both sides are in the Epstein files, okay? Both sides are in it. People need to get that part, It's not going to come out, no matter what people want. I don't believe it's going to come out. If you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video. It helps me out, helps the channel, I'm trying to push more America First clips, more Nick, I think Nick's a great person and everyone should hear him, I think the way he talks politics and everything, it's amazing, I've never heard anyone like this, But, yeah. Next live Monday through Friday on Rumble. Link it down below in the description. Everyone have a good one, and this is Pure Record out.